Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day today. It's such a pleasure to have you all joining us today. Whether you're joining from the UK or from somewhere else in the world, thank you for taking the time to be here with us. Today's event is hosted by We For You, an organization dedicated to empowering hearts and inspiring minds by creating safe spaces for learning, growth, and meaningful conversations. Through sessions like these, We For You aims to support people in navigating life's challenges with compassion, understanding, and practical guidance. We're so grateful that you've chosen to spend part of your day with us. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. And before we begin, I'd just like to go over a few quick rules or details. If you're not speaking, please keep your microphone muted to avoid background noises. Feel free to use the chat throughout the session to share your thoughts or ask questions. We'll also have some time towards the end for questions. So if something comes to your mind during the talk, you're welcome to pop it in the chat. And we'll do our best to get as many as we can. Today's speaker is Sister Layla. For most of her life, she was the one who explained, who said yes, who made sure everyone else was okay. Now she has learned something quieter, how the way we see ourselves shapes the way we love. Today, she'll share a few simple shifts that changed how she connects, and that just might change how we connect too. So without further ado, let's give a round of applause for Sister Layla. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Imagine hearing this from a friend or a parent. No, I can't. And nothing more. How did I make you feel? Did you need a reason? Today we're gonna talk about why do we expect others and maybe ourselves to always explain. Why can't a no just be a no? Why is that sometimes not enough? If someone did that to you, what will be your thoughts? Will you probably think, oh, that was weird. Why didn't you just say what you was going to do? We're going to change that. When we are talking about boundaries, they're like a muscle. If you have never had any boundaries, then it will be needed to be exercised. Like when you go to the gym and you've never been to the gym before, it takes some time. And that's the same thing with boundaries. And the hardest part about boundary is that it's extremely uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable in the discomfort is not easy. Because if you're like me, always explaining, sometimes even explaining twice so that people really understand, or explaining in a different way with metaphors, just because you have the need that they will understand. But the sad part is that you will end up feeling drained, exhausted, sometimes even frustrated, because you realize no matter what you say, you will still get boxed as the one who are difficult, the weird one. Not because you are difficult, but it's because it's easier for some people to label you or put that you, for example, Layla is difficult in a box, to really take the time to understand you and where you're coming from. So sometimes we think a boundary means loud, big fight, because sometimes when we are so stressed and overwhelmed, we tend to tell our boundaries in a loud, screaming voice. For example, stop, don't do that. But Honestly, the most powerful boundary often happens in a complete silence. Let me show you what I mean. So imagine this: you are completely out of battery. You have stretched yourself way too much. You are so exhausted, and the house is not looking good. The house is upside down, and you have some guests that you invited, and they will arrive in a couple of minutes. And your partner, your husband, is stressed too. But instead of helping you, they will retreat into a quiet, stubborn protest. Because if you're not stressed or doing something about it, why should they? And maybe an invisible power struggle will fill the room because they are waiting for you to panic, to put on the robot mask, to fix all the chaos, because that's what you always used to do. To save the server because you have to make it look more decent, more perfect, because you're having guests arriving and you don't want to look bad. But what if you set a boundary here instead? You don't fight with your partner, you don't take that fight, you don't even defend yourself. You do the most radical thing on earth, but something an exhausted person will do. What will an exhausted person do? What will you have done if you were in this situation? Would you have gone to the kitchen and tried to be a good host, fix everything, but you're so exhausted? You have like really low battery. But picture this: you lie down on the sofa and you close your eyes. You don't do nothing. You step out of everything, out of the logic, sis, everything that's going to happen, who is going to come, nothing. You just relax. And the guest is coming. And you can feel it because it's so deeply uncomfortable. And you can sense discomfort, the vibes in the house, everything. And your nervous system is screaming at you to get up. The nice girl in you, the inner critic, is saying, just do something. Don't be lazy. Just get up and do it. And you also will feel ashamed of in front of the guests. Maybe they will have bad moods, and maybe they will look at this, and you have all these thoughts raising in your head. But if you can lie still and own that discomfort, something will shift. Because the truth is, when you stop over functioning, overdoing things, and you will actually force the other person to wake up. Because if you refuse to fix it, then who's going to fix it? And maybe their own worries, their own panics about the guests has to lift them up to actually be accountable and take some responsibility. And then the guest finally walks in, finally, and they see the bags on the table and you on the couch. And the earthquake, the catastrophic, all the things you had in your mind doesn't happen at all. Instead, it's relief. Because by you being a human, not a robot, you let others, also the guests, to lower the shoulders too. And they will even come in and step in and help you by just you saying, I'm really tired today, but I'm really happy to see you guys. Let's have a good time. Then you also show them you are a human being. You have some stretches. You're not a robot who can fix everything. And they will feel better because they realize, oh, I'm not the only one who didn't cook dinner today. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So that discomfort in your body it is not a sign that you're doing something wrong, but it's actually the opposite. It's the sound of an all unhealthy pattern that is cracking up. It's totally shattering up, and that's giving you that discomfort. And that discomfort, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's really, really uncomfortable. You will feel it in all parts of your body. But remember, if it's just the discomfort, we have to look at it why it is so hard. Why it is so hard for us to actually have boundaries and be ourselves. Because if we don't actually have boundaries, then it's going to hurt us in the long run. And the truth is, we don't avoid boundaries, we avoid the discomfort. We don't like and we fear that disappointing someone, even, yeah, people that are closest to us, and we fear that they might get angry, disappointed, hurt. The gossip, they will talk about us. We will be like the villain. We will feel like we are in the wrong. But actually, all we did was setting some boundaries. And here is the most honest truth. They might talk anyway. Their feelings might hurt anyways. So let me ask you, this is their feelings, their emotions, their thoughts. Are you truly responsible for that? Are you responsible for their feeling some type of way, for you setting some boundaries that are actually protecting you? And there is actually a name for this. When we look at our nervous system in our body, we have four types of responses in one of the system we have. And imagine you are in a situation like a very scary one. Some people will immediately run from the situation. They will be like, no, 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 I'm getting out of this very fast. They will become like Usain Bolt. They will run very fast. Some people, they will freeze, do nothing. They will be completely still. Some other very courageous people, they will start to fight. They will have that adrenaline kicking and they will fight that situation happening. Then it's another one, and that is called fawning. And fawning is the is happening when we realize that fighting or flighting or like running away and freezing will not help us, or it's not something we can do. So we go to this mode, we go to fawning. And fawning is when we start to over sacrifice, doing something out of uh, just to survive. So we self sacrifice and over please to survive. And sometimes we even do it for strangers. And that sounds crazy, but if you look at one situation, imagine you're in a store and there is someone who's talking to you in the store and you're actually tired, you don't want to talk, but you don't want to come as someone who's really not polite, do you? So you smile, even if the person is not making any sense, and even maybe a little bit rude, but you don't want to be rude to the person because you want to be polite. So sometimes we even do something just to not be uncomfortable or have that discomfort to not please someone. And sometimes we're even doing that. Imagine if you want to get married or you're dating someone and you get to know them and they're saying something you don't even like. You feel some type of way about it, but because of you don't like the discomfort, because you don't like conflict, you don't like having that boundary, you don't have any boundaries, you will maybe agree to things, you will go to the over pleasing stage, and it will cost you your peace and your energy, but you do that because you feel like you need to do that. It's better to do that so you can survive. You don't need to be in the discomfort. And the part we don't always see is that sometimes always being, for example, available doesn't actually help the people around us, especially people we actually would love to help. We will teach them to depend on us. Layla, yeah, she will fix it. I will just call her and she will make me feel better. She always know exactly the right thing to say. And you know what? Let me just call her. She will fix it. Does that make any sense to you? Have you felt the same way? And the truth is also that we actually make the people we want to help, we help them in a way we don't like, and that is giving them less trust in themselves. We give them less trust in themselves because we make them rely on us. And sometimes it might even feel good because we feel like we're helping. But if you are always there, always available, they even asking you questions they can Google. And they take 2 minutes to put your fingers together and put and type it. But they will call you and ask, for example. So what do we do instead? And the big factor here is that the more you explain a boundary, the more it will be up for negotiation. Okay? I want you to remember this thing. And I want you to say it to yourself also when you're starting to set some boundaries. Boundaries should never be explained, only respected. So have that as a mantra for you. Boundaries should never, never be explained, only respected. No is a complete sentence, no matter what they will say. I want to tell you guys a story. I lost my phone for almost 3 weeks. It was right about Christmas time, and the world today, everything is digitalized now. And I felt horrible at first, and I felt completely stuck. Even taking the bus driver told me to get a ticket online. I was like, I don't have a phone. I should be able to pay here. You have this machine, I can pay. But he said no. So I felt really horrible. But then it took some time, but I felt free. Why? Because I was not distracted. Nobody could reach me, but I still got the news anyway. All the important things, it found me. And now I had the time, and I saw when I was walking or doing something, I saw the nature. I heard the birds in the morning. I was truly present. I was not having something in my ear. I was not listening to a podcast or something. I was just seeing the world a little bit more differently because imagine when you are on the phone, you're walking somewhere, someone is calling you, you are getting a notification, something. It's always something happening. And now I didn't have that something happening. It was just me and nothing else. So after that, I got so inspired by by that event, and I started something I called a digital detox. Now I don't even carry my phone everywhere, and the sound of my phone is off unless I'm expecting someone or an important call. And I actually realized very important thing. And when people call you like multiple times, and those four missed calls on a row, they are not an emergency. They are not. It's usually something they want to get a hold of you because they need an answer now. They want that. So for me, and I would normally call them immediately back, because if I called someone so many times in a row, that means it's an emergency. I need you right now. I broke my leg or something, because I realized, because I am thinking like that, it doesn't mean that other people are thinking the same. For them, five calling you many, many times means I need you to talk to you right now because I need to buy this thing and you're the only one who can answer me, for example. And then I learned something very important. If it's so important, you know what they're going to do? They're going to text you. And that text is not only going to be, hey, call me back. It will be concrete. It will be something, hey, this thing happened, blah, 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 call me back. Because they will even know that when you see that message, you will know immediately it's an emergency or something important, and you will call them back when you can. So now I rarely pick up the phone because I don't carry my phone everywhere. I love it, because when I'm with you, I truly want to be present with you. And I started to do that in my home, with my family, with my kids, and it's been extremely beneficial and helpful. So here are some sentences you can say by learning to say no and have some boundaries, and you can actually use that. You can try to use it. The first one is no, I can't. And the second one, that doesn't work for me. Or the third one, I need time before I answer. And all you do, you just say one of those and nothing more. And they will test you. Believe me, they will test you. No, you can't. What do you mean by you can't? It's nothing. It's very simple. You just do that. It's so simple, right? You can do it yourself. I'm just joking. But no, I can't is a full sentence. And remember, boundaries should never be explained, only respected. Yes. So stop explaining to be understood. The sad truth is, some people will never have the capacity or even want to understand you the way you want to be understood. No is a complete sentence, no matter what they say. So now we have talked a little bit about what boundaries is, and why it's so uncomfortable, and how we can understand the more of the why. But now I want us to look at the hows. What can we do to actually have some solid boundaries we can use from day and always? And the first one, to have a good and build a good boundary, is to ask yourself, and I want to ask you right now, what matters to you? What is truly important to you? Is it sleep? Is it your energy, your peace, your family, your faith? What is really important to you? And I want you to take some time now. Think about that, because when you think about it now, it will be easier when you move to the other steps. So take some time now, even write it down. What is important for you? Where will you want to have some boundaries? So I hope you guys have written some of it. And if you like to share what you have written, maybe that will inspire someone too. Please share it in the chat. So to go to the next stage is that I want you to name it clearly. For example, if sleep was really important to you, you can say, I don't want no calls after 9 p.m. And I want you to say it once and hold it calmly when you are being tested, because you will be tested. So if the boundary is vague, it will break easily. So when you say no calls after 9 p.m., it means literally no calls after 9 p.m. What is going to happen if somebody calls you 9:15? Are you going to pick up? No, that's correct. You will not pick up, because why? If you take the calls, what does it mean? You broke the boundary. And if it was really important, they will text you. Okay, they will text you, please call because I'm in the hospital, please do the, yeah, they will text you. And sometimes we are the one breaking our own boundaries because we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't like that discomfort because we're thinking maybe it's because of this or that. And it's doubts, but it only means that you're not used to having this boundary. And like with everything that is new, it's gonna take some time. And the more you stick with it, the more you're gonna teach the other people to also respect that boundaries. So you say it once, you don't over explain it. You don't say, no calls after 9 p.m. because I need to sleep. Sleep is very important for me, because if I don't sleep enough, I will not be able to function. I will be feeling very groggy the next day, and then I have university. Then, no, you don't over explain. You just say, no calls after 9 p.m. That's it. And you know what is going to work for you? The silence. The silence is going to do the work, not you. And you will hold it. They will test it. Believe me, that's very normal. Don't justify it. Don't explain. The only thing you do is that you just repeat it. Only again, never angry, because anger is information to them as well. Because if you get angry at your own boundary, it means, why is she getting angry? Then it might not be so important for her. Do you see? So just repeat it calmly. Say, like I said, no calls after 9 p.m. And expect the discomfort. You know, that's the muscle growing. And it will feel very wrong at first. It will feel so weird at first that you will probably say, it's not something right. I need to do something else. But it's just the discomfort talking. Stay with your boundary. And there and the thing is that you will also realize that the people who will test your boundaries are is sad, but that by you having that boundary, it doesn't benefit them because they were benefiting from you not having boundaries. You know, for example, by you always being available, that was good for them. But now, since you have a boundary, not so much. And some people, they will ask again and again and again to test you, but also to hope for another different answer from you. Because some people, they will ask many times on a row, even to test. But guess what? They will get the same boundary explained. Not explained, repeated, I mean, because we don't explain boundaries. So by you saying it calmly, again, and you don't feed into the what do you mean by no calls after 9 p.m. It's just one call. I need to talk to you. You don't care about me. And you will see that some people will not respect your boundaries. But that is hard. But what is your goal? Are you willing to be uncomfortable in the moment or some time, even some months, to have that peace from several months from now on? And you will become more happy, you will feel more respected, and people will actually respect the boundary by telling others people about your boundary. They will say, "No, Layla, she doesn't pick up the phone after 9 p.m. Don't call her. She will not pick up. You can call me." See? So it's extremely important that you stay with your boundary. So if you knew that not having boundaries and how important boundaries were, and you will know now that the boundaries, not having boundaries will hurt your family, maybe even your kids, your own well being, will you see it differently? Your kids need you. You know, that's real responsibility. But imagine you're going to university next morning and you're talking to a friend, your best friend on the phone. It's getting late and your university is 2 hours away in the morning. So you actually need to sleep early and you have a long day at uni tomorrow. But your friend are talking and from the looks of it, she really needs to talk to you. So you stay on the phone a little bit longer. And then it's 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. How long will it take for you to end that conversation or the phone call? Will you be the one immediately say, "Hey, let's talk another day," or "I need to go to sleep now," because see, you're explaining why you need to even hang up the phone? Or will you be able to stay there a little bit longer to hear her because you don't want to come across rude? You want to show her you care because she's talking about her feelings, something that bothers her, and by you listening you are showing that you care, right? You show that you care for her. But what about yourself? What about you? And it sounds ridiculous, but are she more important than you, that your sleep, that you have able to be more awake, because some people take longer time to sleep and they need more sleep even. But by being on the phone longer and longer, and now maybe it's 2 hours, midnight, and you have to wake up at 5 o'clock, not even 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So you gave your precious time away, and you realize maybe 2, 3 days later that the emergency she talked about for 2 hours, it was not an emergency, and she found a very easy solution for that. And maybe she didn't even say thank you to you. She just took it for granted that you were there, that you were available and listening to her all the time, even if it meant that your well being, your time, your precious time, by the way, for her. Your kids, for example, that's real responsibility. That's you help them into this world. They have you to rely on. So even if you have kids and you are on the phone now with your friend, that's energy stolen also from the people that matters the most to you. And we don't look it like that. We look at it more like from this perspective. I am in the phone call with her to show her that I care about her. You can show her you care about her, and you can also show to you that you care about yourself too. And you don't win uh, respect, for example, by being always the nice girl or like a flawless machine, even robot. You don't win it by that. You don't win it by always over pleasing, always putting your self care, your energy, peace, mood, your needs to decide. You win it by daring to be who you are, being a human first and foremost. And a human is very restricted. Let's be honest. You get tired, you get frustrated. But now, when you have boundaries, they will become like a shield for you. They will protect you. They will protect you when you need the protection the most. Maybe tomorrow, when you say like no calls after 9 p.m., maybe you don't need that time because you actually have energy, because you don't go to sleep by 10 or 11, for example. And you could talk on the phone, but it will come a day you actually are so tired, or you're doing something that's important to you. And that boundary, it will protect you. And you will have no people calling you at that time to distract you, interfere with you, because you already set that boundary for you. Or for the people that is close to you, for your kids, for example, you set that boundary so you have more sleep, so you can be up on the night if the kids needs you. Boundaries are protecting you. So when you have a boundary, it's not like a wall. It's not like you don't love them. Boundaries are showing that you're loving yourself. It's you saying out loud to everybody, this is me. Here I am. Take it or leave it. And it's so scary. It's very scary, because you will see that some people will actually leave. They will leave because they benefited from you not having any boundaries. But what is also very freeing is that when you see the truth, you see that, oh, she only liked me when I didn't have boundaries, or when I was always available. And what is that? It's protection. Do you see? Boundaries are protecting you. So I don't know, when you were a little girl, For example, and you didn't like something. For example, you didn't like that ice cream. What will you have done? You will probably say, "No, I don't like that ice cream." And that's it. You will not say, "I don't like the ice cream because it's strawberry and, and vanilla together. And I don't like it because of this." You just say, "No, I don't like this ice cream." And maybe you will even stamp your foot doing it. And what will happen? People or your mom, dad, or someone will say, "What do you want? What do you want?" And the crazy thing is, you will probably get what you want. You will not have that ice cream. You will get something you actually wanted. And have the, if you normally say to yourself, "Nobody's respecting me, nobody's appreciating me, nobody's valuing me, nobody's seeing all the things that I'm doing for her, him, everybody. Nobody's seeing me. Nobody's understanding me." This is for you. Boundaries are gonna protect you. It's gonna be like a shield for you. You will not overfunction. You will not do things just the sake of doing things. But if you decided that you will have boundaries, who will you become if you finally let yourself just say no? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Layla, for such a thoughtful and beneficial session. Boundaries can, often feel uncomfortable to talk about, yet they're one of the most important foundations for healthy relationships or self-worth or even emotional well-being. I hope and I'm sure many of us have taken away something valuable from today's discussion, inshallah. Now, before we end it, we'll move on to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them out into the chat. Or if you would like to speak it up, do raise your hand and we'll let you speak up to ask your questions. And hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to get through as many if time allows. Okay, I've seen some questions have come in. The first one, I struggle understanding that I'm being given the choice to say no. How do we protect our boundaries when we say okay and don't even realize that it was a choice in the first place?
I will say that don't say okay first, because by you saying okay first, it's just a normal pattern that you have. And then when you have some time to think about it, you realize you actually had an option to say something else. So I will say one boundary that will protect you a lot is saying, "I need some time to think about this," or "I need some time to answer this." Just by saying wait, it will give you more time to actually think it through. Not everything need to be answered very fast in the moment right now, even if it feels like that. By you taking some time, few minutes or few seconds, it will help a lot. A lot of things that we are saying yes to, we don't need to say yes to. It's just because it's just something we are so normal and we are being programmed to say because we want to be nice, polite, and it's easier to just say, "Okay, yes, 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 I will do that." But we don't need that. You are allowed to say, "I need to think about it." And I also think the reason you struggle understanding that you actually have a choice is by you maybe are used to just saying okay or yes in the moment, right then and there. And then you realize later, but I actually had a choice. I could say no, you know? So take some time and then think it through and ask yourself, do I want to do this? Do I have the capacity to do this? I hope that helped.
Inshallah. I hope that really answered their question. Another one, how should we react when children test our boundaries?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I think it also depends on which age the kids are. But sometimes when the kids are reacting or testing our boundaries, then all of our emotional, like even traumas, all the things that we maybe have not worked out will come out because they're also testing the things in us that we normally maybe doesn't look at. For example, some people they will get tested by patients, and especially if you have seen that kids test your patient when you have the least amount of time, they will take much more longer because sometimes kids or children they can sense your nervous system and stuff like that, and they don't even do it on purpose. So when I will say when children test your boundaries, breathe, take your time and tell yourself why. Why are they testing these boundaries? For example, if you say to your kid or your children, no, don't do that, don't jump on the sofa, and they will jump even more on the sofa, and you become, why are they jumping on this sofa? I just said no. And some kids, when they hear no, they hear yes, jump on the sofa. So I would love for you to, instead of saying no, because we always say no, 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 especially to kids, we normally doesn't say no so much to other adults, okay? But to kids or children, we say no almost all the time. Don't say no. And then direct them to the things that you would like them to do. So if you don't want them to jump on the sofa, don't say, don't jump on, no, don't jump on the sofa. You will say, come here, let's do something. And you guide them. You take their hand and you will maybe go somewhere else, go to another room or something. That was just one example. But most of the time, they will test our boundaries by the things we sometimes feel most difficult within ourselves. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. That was actually really well said. How it affects us also when we are really low on our energy and
Yeah.
how to deal with them too. Jazakallah khair. Another question, and I hope I see that's the last question we have. When we are in a long-standing relationship, it's difficult to set boundaries. How do we distinguish between setting a healthy boundary and emotionally distancing ourselves?
I don't know if I understood or understand that question, but uh, I will say that to set healthy boundaries, first and foremost, is that you it's true boundary within yourself. It means that it's true for you and it's healthy for you. For example, if you're in a long-standing relationship and you maybe have different time zones, and you maybe it's your nighttime and it's daytime for them, then it will become extremely difficult because maybe you need to sleep early, and it's a healthy boundary for you, but at the same time you don't want to show that you doesn't care about the other person because you do. But by setting healthy boundaries, I would like to tell you, find out what is really mattering, what matters to you. Okay? It's okay that you love that person, you would like to be in a in a relationship with them, but at the same time, it's also okay for you to listen to yourself. You don't need to choose between those two. It should not. And you can maybe come with a compromise, and also that the other person can compromise and come to your boundaries and do what you actually need. So sometimes we don't always need to be the one who jumps to help or something. Some people will actually like to help you. And I want to tell you, let them also help you. For example, in that distant relationship, the other person, they might take 1 hour, 2 hours from their time, even busy time, to talk to you, to be there for you. That was just one example. And by you also telling them that I would like to talk to you, but I actually can't, it will show them that you also respect yourself. And when you show love and care for yourself, you are showing other people to treat you in the same way. So thank you for all your questions. And I hope that answered for your question as well.
Thank you very much, Sister Layla. Have you ever had to change a boundary you previously set? What did you learn from that experience?
Yes. And I learned that having vague boundaries are easily breakable. For example, if the boundary is not very concrete, for example, I could have, I think I said one boundary before was like, now I have the one no calls after 9 p.m. But before that, I had, I don't want to be reached at the evening time, after night evening time. And that is not good. It was not good, because what does evening means to some people? Evening means maybe earlier, later, and that was not good at all. So I learned from that experience that vague boundaries break very much easily. So I should do more concrete boundaries. And the more concrete boundary are, the less it is up for negotiation. And the other boundary I had, I don't want to be contacted in the evening, nighttime, that was up for negotiation all the time. What do you mean by the evening? Evening is this, and. So I will say the most important with boundaries is that have it concrete, make it a boundary that is protection for you, something important for you, because when it's important for you, you're most likely not to break it yourself too. Thank you so much for all the questions and you for listening in.
Thank you very much, Sister Layla. We hope today's discussion has encouraged every one of us to reflect on the importance of healthy boundaries and remind us that setting them can be an act of care, not only for ourselves, but for the people around us also. A huge thank you to our speaker, Sister Layla, for sharing her experience, knowledge, wisdom with us all. Jazakallah khair kathiran, Sister Layla.
Jazakallah khair for me being here as well. Thank you so much.